Work. Woo! That was a while. I was trying to figure out how the heck to change the horizontal and vertical. I'm going through all my settings on my phone. I'm going through the settings on the actual YouTube app, and I forgot you have advanced settings on the actual video. So I figured that out. So forgive me that for the delay. I know it's been a second here. I'm gonna try to see. I don't know if I can even get this. Ooh, I can. Ooh, I could screw. I could zoom in, scroll that. Look at that. That's much better. Okay. It's probably reverse on your end, which is stinky. What are you gonna do? Okay. Well, I first I want to say Happy New Year to everybody out there tonight. This is a live video. We are going to be weathering this beautiful Southern 080 steam locomotive, and it is a proto. Those I guess those it's a proto 2000 steam engine. Unfortunately, and I guess maybe good and bad, but the my client, this is going to be a display only piece. His family heritage, he has, I believe his, I don't know if he said his uncles or his grandparents, or his grandfathers, but the men in his family worked on the Southern Railroad, and he has photos of his family members in front of a steam engine, and I believe it is a 080. It may not be the spectacular 1885 number, although it might be. But man, there's some beautiful photos out there on this particular steam engine. He gave me something and an idea what he will like to see on the steam engine, and so we're going to go involved in this. This is something that may take a little more time than like the diesel locomotives that we have done in the past, or even a box car. But I'm going to show you some of the simple techniques that you can use to weather a steam locomotive. The good thing is I don't have to worry about really cleaning the wheels, although I will be cleaning them just in case for some reason he will like to run the steam engine, he can. So the first thing what we're going to do, and I should have done this beforehand, and I completely forgot, which is very important, is one, you want to cover these little computer, um, these little inputs for the wires, right? So I want to do that really quick. So that's one that's done. And so what the beauty of a steam locomotive, if you look at photos of a steam locomotive, is first get your eye narrowed into the details of the weathering, the grime and the dirt, right? Because you have a lot of soot, you have a lot of heat and ash effects. You will have a lot of dirt, a lot of grime. And not every steam engine is exactly the same. He wants a lot of the soot. He wants a lot of the heat on this particular model. So that's what we're going to do today. And oh, I have so much fun with this stuff, man. I enjoy weathering steam engines, and I need to do more of them. So I'm excited for this. This is going to be fun. Okay, so we're going to turn this into a workhorse of a steamer. So the very first thing I like to do, the whole thing is already sealed. It's already sealed with matte medium, so it's ready for the paint job. And what we're going to do first is when people freak out, we're going to get to the boiler in the front of the boiler, and we're going to start using a wash, and we're going to use a black wash. And the way to do that is just like all the other times. We are going to dilute some black paint. You can use the apple barrel or the Anita's acrylics, which are my favorite. And so that way we're okay. Here we go, and that's a good flat black will work. So we're gonna take a little bit of there, paint in here. That's all I'm doing. Taking some of that paint, a little bit of the wet, make it dilute it. Right. That's all it's gonna be here. Right, and we're gonna go over this beautiful black model. We're gonna go make it a little dirty. And you want to go over, I go over the whole thing. No different than the SD90 Mac that we did a couple of weeks ago, right? It's no different. Just like on the rooftop. It's the same thing. you're giving yourself a canvas to work off of now. And we get rid of that plastic look. Plus a little bit of weathering involved in there too, right? And we're going to do this. And do the same thing up here. Okay, it's going to be the same thing on the gray. We're just going to tone down that silver. That's all we're going to do here. And if it's too much, you take a little bit off, right? No different than any other techniques, any other previous models using the same technique. It's the same thing. You got a lot of detail. People are scared to do steam engines because of all the moving parts. Let me tell you, you work at it. Just work at it a little bit at a time. We're going to act like I am not going to be using this as a display model, but more so if it's going to be running on the main line, right? On the layout. And do this here. Okay. I forget you can zoom in just a little bit. And if I could do it, ooh, look at that. I forgot you could do stuff like that. So I'm Tim. Hey, Johnny. Nice. We got the family watching. Hold on. I'm gonna fix this here. Give me a second. Ooh. Gonna gonna get you guys sick watching it. There we go. So that's all we're gonna do here. We're gonna start a little more of that black paint and a little bit of diluted black paint. And I've done a live video on weathering a big boy for Johnny, who is in the chat. And it's the same exact way as I weathered that steamer. It's the same thing. Okay, we want this. Oh, look at that. Oh, boy. Now we're getting crazy because now the lettering is getting some soot. It's getting dirty. Then 1885 is too bright. Too visible for me. We may make it a little bit. There we go. And it's already dry. And let me go grab my blow dryer. That way we can blow dry this and we can put an extra layer on if we so choose. All right. I don't know if it's CCC or not. That'd be cool if it is. I may put it on my layer and run it before I send it off. I don't know yet. Now you see it completely toned it down. I'm going to try to move it over just a little bit, okay? See, look, this is the black before the wash, right? And look at here. See the difference in color already? So now you can just leave it like that and it's good to go, right? If you so choose. But we're not going to do that because that's not the way I work. So we're going to add a little more. And we're going to add, let's see here. Nice and easy now. I'm going to add some here. That's all. Look at that. I forgot that spot, right? A little black on the windows. A little more there. A little more there. We're going to add all in there. All of this inside's got to get done, right? So let me blow dry that. And you can spend tons of time doing stuff like this, right? Okay, so we're going to do a little more. We're going to add a little more paint and then water. Woo! There we go. Okay, see, we're going to go in here. Back on here. Just add a little more grime. Then with the diluted paint, you go along all the details here, all along the piping, right? You start with the initial this initial coat first, right? What do you want to do? Okay. Now, there you go. See, now you have the, let's see, you can pull it up here so you guys can see it. You can see here how it's already getting faded, right? Oop. You can see here's before any weathering. You see the difference in color, right? So, some folks like it just like that, right? And you can do the wheels. The wheels are pretty much the same way, right? Again, this is just an initial step. And I have this diluted. I put it on the. I put what do you call it? I put a little bit of the wash on the wheels, the drivers. A little bit on all this detail work. Okay, and just constantly clean the wheels when if you're gonna have this running on your layout. Constantly clean the wheels. Okay, and that's done on there. Okay, then we're gonna take the front. I'm gonna do the same thing. You want the front. There we go. A little more. Okay. So now you just get an initial coat of that black. Okay, so now you can see here, see the front's not as shiny anymore. All of it's not really as shiny anymore. Okay, some folks like it just the way it is, and that's fine, but we're going to go even deeper, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to seal this, so we have another canvas to work off of, and then while this is drying, we're going to work on that tender, face tender. Okay, now let's do the tender. And the tender is easy because it's pretty much the same step, right? It's a little flatter surface, a lot less detail on the side. So this one would take that long to do. So we're going to take this and dilute just a little more, a little too thick for my taste. And though you say you want it really dirty. So I want to make sure at least you can see the numbers, So do the same thing. Wow, 9,000 gallons. A lot of water. Okay, we'll do this side. Okay, so this is the side that hasn't been done yet, right? This is the side here that's got some paint on it. So we're going to seal this, or at least dry it first and see what it looks like. Then we'll seal it. Okay, add a little more here. I actually missed a spot. Look at that. Not good. Make that a little darker. Okay. Try it again. Okay, so here's the difference. Here's the side that hasn't been done yet, right, compared to the side that is now done. So you can see how it's faded already. So we're going to do the other side. And this is pretty much the boring step until we get to the next part. And it is a crucial step in the process to do. Okay, do the front top here. Let's get a little bit of that coat. A little extra that black. And that's it. And now we're dry it. Okay. Keep it going just a little more, because we're going to add a lot of black powders and grays and whites. That's the main things on steamers, is adding a lot of grays, whites, and blacks. Maybe a little brown. Okay, do this stuff a little more. Just want to layer up just a little more. Okay, so that's that for that. Now since we're still waiting for the steamer to dry, I'm going to take these wheels off. Oh, there we go. And I'm gonna seal this, and I'm gonna paint these wheels, and then we're back to the steam, the front of the steam locomotive. There we go. All right. So to do wheels, no different than any other time we've done wheels. Add a little bit of the Anita's Acrylics Earth Brown. Right? That's all we're going to do there. And then use the same paintbrush. It's all good because they're the same. We use a little bit of that brown, a little bit of that black. And so kind of a different kind of, is it right here? Yeah. Ooh, come on. There we go. So a little bit of black, right? And we're going to take a little more brown than black and just get to the tone you like to use. And usually that color is pretty good. I like that color. We'll use that. And we'll just paint the inside of the wheels. Just like this. And then we'll clean, once it finish them, I'll clean off the bearings and then the flange itself. And that's all you need. A little bit of paint will give you a long way to use up all that paint too. It takes a while, so a little bit goes a long way. Okay, do that. A little bit more paint there. Okay, so like that, that's there. You go on the inside. I paint the inside of it as well. And oh, I'm not even doing it on camera. My apologies. But that's all it is, because eventually we're going to add some powders to it, right? There. Okay, I'm going to clean the flanges off here and clean the bearings off in a second once we're done. A little bit of black, a little bit of brown. a little more brown. There we go. That's what I want to see. And that's that. Just like that. Okay. Yeah, Tim, I am using a well, okay, so first, John asked if the M1's going to look like this. Well, um, similar, but we're going to use a little more whites than the grays for this particular project. And Timmy asking, do you have reference photos? Yes, there is a reference photo. The actual thumbnail, well, the actual photo on my Facebook page for Touch of the Brush, or TOTB, that is pretty close to what we're going to be doing, and how we're going to weather the steam engine. It's going to look similar to that. He gave me a reference photo. Um, I have the idea of what he wants. It's on the phone. It's on my phone, unfortunately, because I'm using my phone to record here. I have a computer, and I think I've been able to finally fix the camera on my laptop, or at least figure out how the heck to use it now. So maybe next time I'll just use my computer, and then I could maybe show you a photo of it while on my phone using the computer camera. I don't know if that makes any sense or not. Let's see here. So that's that, right? So we did that. We did the wheels. Now I don't want to use rubbing alcohol. I'll just use the water. Okay, and just clean off the bearings with the Q-tip. Forgive me. I keep forgetting I zoomed this in now, so no one can really see what I'm doing. But you just want to clear the bearings off. So the wheels, let's see where the camera's at. So there's your brown and black. Okay, so it's a little bit of that weathering. It's very minuscule, and it will really been you really won't see it too much on the model, and the way you will see it actually is using the powders, which we will get to. Okay. Eventually, I do have a camera, but I'm trying to figure out how to get the tripod to go down so I can film downwards instead of like this, because that way you actually really see what I'm doing. So that's the goal for this year. I need to do that for sure. Okay. All right. So those wheels are done. Let me clean off some of the excess here. There. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good to know. Barely any paint got on this stuff. Okay. All right. Let's go get that steamer. It should be dry by now. Oh yeah. Okay. So you can use some. So it's sealed, right? They got it sealed. Let's see if this works for you guys better. So you can actually see what I'm doing. There we go. Okay. So what I would like to do, you like to use, is we're gonna mix some. Now AIM products are not anymore, so we're gonna use the Monroe Models weathering powders. We're gonna use white, medium gray, and grimy black, and maybe a little bit of the medium earth tone with this. Okay. That's a maybe. I may use that. I'm not sure yet. What we're going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of the acrylics gray and a little bit of that in there. Okay. And then we're going to add a little bit of the Anita acrylics. Ooh, what's it called? Just white, plain white. And these paints have seen better days, I'll tell you that. Ooh, let's do that. That's not good. Okay. Right. Okay. We already got the blacks, browns, grays, and the whites, right? So we're gonna use that. I'm gonna use the same paintbrush. Okay, it's a little wet, which is fine. Use a little bit of that white. There's a little bit that black in there. I'm gonna make it a little bit of that gray. I'm gonna take a little bit of that gray that's down here. So do you see a little bit of that gray going? Okay. And what we're gonna do is paint the inside of this a little bit white, and this will be layered with some of that black. Again, it's like just a first step. It's not end result. Okay, take a little bit of that black in there too. Just constant layering. You want some of these to get some of that white. Why? Because you get all that ash in the firebox down here, right? So what we're really doing is adding some effects with that white. We're going to just layer some of this stuff. And what we're going to do is use a Q-tip now to blend all that together. Okay. And then you take a little bit of that, get that Q-tip in there. And it's going to dry fairly. It's going to dry flat, which is good. Okay. Then I'm going to go on here and add a little bit of highlights on the driving rods. No difference if you did the trucks on a diesel. Ooh, flew right out of my hand. Want a little bit down there. What we'll do, take a little bit of that off. So now you're getting a little bit of that thing here. Let me try to lower this. This is getting overexposed just a little bit, so you really can't see the detail. Oh, that's off and on. Let's try it now. So there you go. It's much better. So you can see where I'm getting at here. So that's nothing done yet, right? And that's we're making some little bit of progress here. Okay, and like I said, it's a little too white. I'm not going to make it that white. What I'm going to do, I can't hold this brush for no-how today. Okay. Okay, a little bit of black. Stretch it up. There we go. So you have a little bit of that in there. Okay, add a little bit. There we go. A little bit of black. This is the tedious process of doing steamers. Okay. There we go. Okay. So now we got these. Now we're going to do the same thing with the wheels itself. We got a little bit of a wash going here. I'm going to dry it just a little bit. Okay. Just want a little bit on there, not too much. Right. And I'm going to get a clean Q-tip. Right. And what I'm going to do is highlight those wheels enough. Okay, a little bit on there, take some off. Because I know in the picture this is like pretty white. Um, I know the drivers are white too, actually. Okay. Add a little bit there. Okay. All right, so that's pretty much like a single layer here. I think there's a little bit on, I know there's a little bit on here too. I can name do one of those. Okay. And take a little bit of this. Want to add a little bit more on top of here, just to get a little more of effect, like if heat and ash on top of the top here. No, I never had an issue because I have all the steamers on my layout. They run just fine. I never had an issue with them coming up. Add a little more of this black here. A little bit on the top here. I get the fear, $600-700 steam engine, you ruin it because it doesn't run because you got weathering stuff on it, or um, it's just constantly cleaning wheels. Okay, just a little bit of that in there. Yeah, a little more black to that actually. Okay, let's seal that a little bit. Now that's why I use a little bit of paint. So if you see, I don't actually put paint inside, well, where the screws are for the driving rods. I put it here in certain spots, and I use the Q-tip, and I go over it, and I dabs right on top, so it doesn't go, really doesn't go inside the where the screws are, where the moving parts are, rather. Um, let's see here. So let's see the next step. Okay, I'm gonna do the other side now. Actually, pretty much the same step overall, both sides. Do that a little bit here. Okay. Just like that. Okay. Take a little of that gray. And if you actually, Howard Zane has a video how he uses pretty much Indian ink, like Indian ink, and just does the wash right over the steam engine. That's all he does with his steamers. He may add a little bit of effects here and there, but not much. It's quite interesting to watch him do that stuff. See, you can see how tedious steamers are. That's why I charge a little more when I weather steam engines, because it's just a lot more moving parts, a lot more detail, a lot more inaccessibility. That's a fact in these models. All right, we're going to seal this. I just need to fix something first. Take a little bit of black paint. Do that. And I'm sure there'll be some stuff that him want me to add, want me to take away or get rid of, stuff like that. So I am not too worried on this. I'll send, usually with steam engines, I'll send the client photos of, the progress, and he want a little less, a little more of what he's looking at. Okay, just like that. Okay, I'm gonna seal this, and we're gonna seal with a little bit of dull coat, and then we're gonna go to the tender again. And so we'll just finish the tender while this stuff dries on the steamer. The tender's not, there's not really not much to do on it. Actually, you know, I'm going to grab my laptop and show you a photo of what pretty much we're going to be working with here in the meantime. So with the same techniques, Johnny's, if you look at John, he had a comment on there. Um, let's see here. I'm trying to get back to it. And it's hard to see. But this photo right here, that's the M1B I did for my friend Arias, and Johnny's the owner of it now. But the same techniques, that's the same exact weathering is done on there is done on here as well. So it can look like what a finished product would look like on a model. So that's that there. Let me grab the photo for you guys. Don't go back. Uh-huh. No, go back. I apologize, guys. It won't let me do it. Okay, here we go. Uh, hmm. Maybe I need to go to my page and just grab it off of my page. All right, give me 1 second. Come on. This thing's been acting really slow today for some reason. The internet's just been weird. Okay. We're here. The home page. There we go. Okay. This is what we're going for. So you can see there's a little bit of the white on top of here. Down here is a lot darker, but a little bit of grays. We're gonna add white. Don't forget, we're gonna add some white. A little bit of rust on here, okay, and stuff like that. Now, I like that, and then this is what my client gave me, which we're gonna go a little more of the whites. Come on. It's taking forever today. All right, I know how to work it. Thank you, appreciate it. All right. Nope, that's not it. Go back. Okay. Uh, so his grandfather was an engineer. Um, so that's him and actually diesel wasn't steamer. So that's him and his two sons. So that's the gentleman's grandfather and the two sons. So maybe I was just I don't know if it's them there he's on there with him or it's his great grandfather and yeah, his great grandfather and the two sons are his grandfathers. Okay. Um, so so here we go. This is something he wants something similar to what this looks like. So we're gonna add a lot more grays and stuff like that here. Okay, which is not hard at all. You know, what we just did is just a little bit of a highlight of the actual steam engine. So, I mean, on the drivers. So we're gonna definitely darken that up. And if you see here how it's dry, we'll continue with the steam engine here since we're on a roll. Okay. Ooh. All right, let's go back to the board here. Now you can see here. Okay, just a little bit of grays. It dries fairly flat, so you really can't tell too much on the grays. So there's a lot more black involved, and like that, what the gentleman wants is a little more of that black, right? So let's continue on with that. So he has a little, there's a little white fade of ash or something coming down here. So we're going to imitate that, and that's very easy. It's just dry brushing, right? We've done dry brushing before, and we're going to use a little bit of this white here, okay? And then once I can grab, we're going to get a little bit of a stiffer bush. No, I don't want that one. We want a smooth brush. There we go. Okay. Actually, I want this soft bristle brush. That's what I want. Okay. Take a little bit on here. Right, a little bit of. I'm gonna actually with dry powders. Take a little bit of that, and we're gonna lightly just layer that on the side here. Okay, so something like that. See, that's all I did was take a little bit of that white powder. Just take a little bit and just brush it downwards. That's all it is. And if you want to be a little heavier to show a little more, add a little gray to that powder. Mix it with a little bit of that white that you have in there. It looks a little more dominant. Okay, if it's too much on the sides, you take a little bit of that grimy black. And you move it over just a little bit. So now a little more even. Now it looks a little shiny. Could I use I use a matte medium on this? I use the dull coat. The dull coat will be like the final step. It will seal it all up. And now we're about to do a double layer of the grimy black from Monroe Models. It's just really just going over the entire model. That's all we're doing here. Okay, that's all we're going to do. Add a little bit of there. A little bit there on top. A little bit there. Okay, so there. So now we got a nice coat of that grimy black on the boiler. And then we'll continue. We'll continue it on the roof. A little bit there. And if it's too much, because you want to see the numbers, take a little bit of that off. So yeah, you at least see the numbers on it. Trust me, it is a pain to look for the numbers when you're trying to code it into your NCE system. And the guys who have operated my layout, they know it's a little difficult to see it. There we go. Okay. Then take a little bit of that. You're just giving it a nice little coat. And see, everything you've done underneath is still showing. Okay, so that's pretty much, see how we're going here? So this one side that hasn't been done down here, right? You can see here. And then this side has been. So I need to add a little more. I want to add a little more of highlights to the wheels here. A little more white. Okay, just to highlight the wheels just a little more. That's all. Okay, and then we're going to do the other side here. Same concept. Grimy black. All that grimy black. Which reminds me, Johnny, I need to add a little more grimy black to the vents of that turbine that we need to send to, that we gotta do for our buddy Sawyer. I found a little spot on the vents. I'm like, oh, forgot to finish that. So we gotta do a little bit of this on the diesel locomotive after we finish this video for another client. Okay. So you can see the front, it's really shiny. Then you look at the side, there it is. Okay. And again, if it's too much, you can take some off. But according to those photos, what he wants, that's what it pretty much looks like. I like to show a little bit of what we're going to do is actually a little bit of that gray up here. A little bit of white. Okay. A little bit of highlight on the white. There we go. It looks a little better. You can see a little bit of that. Leave this the way it is. I'm going to do a line of grimy black on here. Do a little grimy black on here. And then we're going to use a little bit of that medium earth on the front. Show some kick up on the dirt. Okay. And more black to that. Layer it up. Okay. Okay. Now back here, sometimes. Now I have a friend that I work on the railroad, that works on the railroad with me. He was an engineer for the Nevada Northern. He always told me there's always a little bit of gray and white from the heat, from the ash and the heat. So we're gonna add a little of that right here. These brushes are great for these little details. Don't get on the details too much. So just a little bit of that, goes a long way. Okay, and if it's a little too much, a little black powder to it, and it dulls it down just a little bit. Okay, and now we're going to seal this. We're going to go to our tender. That tender needs some loving, and then here needs some loving too, actually. Everybody forgets the cab. There's one thing with these steamers, there's always a cab. And obviously, I am not worrying about windows. Why? Because most of the time, the windows are always filthy on steam engines. Okay, so we will hold that. We'll seal that. We might have to do another layer of powder, but that's okay. All right. Let's bring this little guy in and do the same thing. Now try not to touch the coal, because actually this coal looks fairly realistic compared to the other stuff. The trucks, we're going to use a little bit of the black and brown, like we did the wheels. So let's do that first. Okay, you got a little, dry the brush. Okay. A little bit of black and brown. Okay, and don't forget, we're going to be layering this with the grimy black. So really, I mean, you can just grimy black and you're done, you know. Um, and you could go really into detail with some of the steamers with all the different effects too. Wow. Thank you, Em. I appreciate it, my dear. Okay, some of the details on there at the bottom. Inside the trucks a little bit. This may be a display piece, but I'll tell you one thing, guys. I'm definitely taking some nice photos of the steamer with the rest of my steamers on the layout. So before I send it off, that's for sure. Okay, so now we did that. Now all we're gonna do, we're gonna add the grimy black, right? That's what we're gonna do here. Well, it's a very exciting step, but you can see what effects you're getting from this. It looks great. Okay, do here. Pretty much you down the whole thing in this grimy black. I mean, it's cold, right? Cold. The cold tender. So again, if it's too much paint, see how I mean too much. I want to see the number more, so we get just where the numbers are. Get rid of. Yeah, so you can see the numbers a little more. So there you go, right? Everything else is weathered. And that top looks a little too plasticky for me. But we're gonna seal this first, right? And then we're gonna do a little more. Actually, since I have the here now, sometimes you get a little bit of grays and whites over here, and the reason for it is because there's some ash, or sometimes when coal is wet, it leaves a residue and it's white. I forget the actual chemical is. I don't know if it's the salt, or whatever. I forget what it is, but um, you you'll see that a little bit of that. So we're going to take a little bit of this white powder, right? I don't know what's going to show or not. You may do that. It may take some off. I'm going to get a little bit on the trucks too while we're at it. Let's see if this will work. I may add a little more grace to this or something. Ooh, this thing comes out a lot, man. Okay. Not something I was planning on, but oh well, we'll make it work. Line up it just a little bit. So it's not as black. So this is a little lighter than this side, so you can see a little bit of a difference. So I use a little bit of that gray and whites. Get the whole effect. Okay, so that's it for that. Let's get the steamer. Seal this first. All right. So here's the steamer, and like I said, it gives a little bit of shine to it when it was dry. Even with the dull coat, it does. Okay, but at least some of the powder stayed. So I may want to add another layer of it just to cover some of the gloss on it. I didn't want to do the bell. The bell is not going to get touched. I think the bell looks really nice, just shiny the way it is. We could pretend that the guy actually cleaned the bell before he went on his run. I like the way the wheels look already. I'm just going to leave them the way they are. The steamer looks good. Now for like the front, there's no cow catch on there, but so we added just a little more of that black, and probably most of it will come off, which is okay. And that stayed on it, which is good. What I'm going to do is take a little bit of that brown and a little bit of white. I'm going to add a little bit of detail. You can see here in a second once there we go. Okay, we're going to add there's some highlights here. And we're going to do that coupler too. When we get that coupler painted. Get that black plastic look off. Get a little bit of that. And I'm going to take, like that one picture of that steamer that he sent me, take a little bit of that brown and black. Okay. I'm going to go into here. And a little bit of highlight details. Blend it in just a little bit. Okay, do that. Just a little bit on here, so you get a little bit of that underneath. It's not, you can't really show too much. But what we'll do is, like I said, I'll take some photos. It'll be on the Facebook page. It'll probably be on YouTube and everything else. So you guys will see it, and you'll get a little more details of what it looks like. And now it's going back with some detail parts here. A little more grays again, a little more white. So yeah, John, it's probably gonna look like the M1B, just a little bit more. Okay, a little bit there. A little bit of highlights down here. A little bit on the driver's shaft. A little bit down there. Okay, there's that. And over here, got a little more. A little bit of gray. They need more gray. Okay. And the next step, I did that right. Okay. Now, there's a lot of oil, there's grease, there's lubricant, right, on a steam engine. So we're going to take glossy black now. I'm going to take some glossy black, put that in there, and do a little bit of glossy black on the steamer. Too much paint. Okay. Go back in some of these details. Just a little bit here and there. Nothing really crazy. Rub it in just a little bit. Even when it dries, if there's a little bit of dull coat in there, it should give it a little bit of a gloss, just enough. Okay. Want to get a little bit in there in the pistons. Lubricants should probably be where the joints are mostly. Like I said, this is just a display piece. It's not something that's to be ran. Although, you know, I want to clean the wheels either way. You clean them. So we'll do that. Okay. Same here. A little bit of dots here and there. A little bit on the drivers. A little bit on the wheels, not too much. Okay, and that's really what all I really want to do on this. Okay, unfortunately, that little spot that we made may have to be done with paint, and that's okay. So I'm going to use a little bit of white, a little bit of grays, and we're going to dry brush it. I can get it dry enough. I do this one hand here so you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, I'm going to dry brush a little spot. Okay, now we're going to seal that a little bit. I mean, it's okay looking, not the best. So we're gonna add a little bit of grimy black to it. You know. Hey, Gamey, I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm not gonna forget the coupler. I actually got to finish doing that. I'm gonna make it a little more rusty. I need a little more of that stuff. White. Okay. So now you got a little more definition, right? If it's too much, dull it down with black. And there you go. See, it dulls down just enough. Okay. Now we're going to put this back onto the paint booth. Okay, and I need, actually, I need a new one of those cans. That just ran out on me. Oh, let's do that. All right. Now we're back to the tender. I'm going to put the wheels on. Okay. Oh, pull the wheels up. There we go. Okay, let's put the wheels back on. Glad these things are a lot easier to put on. How about that? It's been nice. It's been really nice. There we go. Okay, pretty much what a tender looks like here. So you see how plastic this looks? So what we're going to do is add a little bit of gloss paint to that. To the coal load. One dulls it down just a bit, but also makes it a little glossy. But it also dulls it down, so. Okay, there we go. Seal that. Now you see the wheels, have a little bit of white on it. Okay. All right, you got this done. It's faded in just right for me. I'm gonna do the couplers now because Amy reminded me to do couplers. So we're gonna do that. And then okay, do that. Boom, boom, boom. I'm gonna add a little bit of dark rust Ames powder. And a little bit of water. And Ames powder, which is also Monroe Models. Okay. Now, yeah, super rusty. I get it. Okay. It's not going to really look like that here. I want to add a little bit of stuff here to it. We're going to add a little more of effects, don't worry. Feel that? So now, so you got this, right? What we're going to do is add a little black, grimy black. Actually, I want to add a little bit of the medium earth on this. That's not going to work, so it's going to be grimy black it is. So then you get that coupler. Okay. And I'm trying to think of maybe little details here we could do. And see, it's really a steam engine is pretty straightforward. Now, of course, the bigger the model, the more details you can get into, right? Add a little rust on the top of here, on top of where the hatch is for the water, right? This is where the water goes in. Oh, so this is where the water goes in, right here. This lifts up for water. Okay, so I wanted to add a little more rust on there. So as if it's in the sun and it gets rusted out. And don't forget, this is a workhorse in the yard. This is what this steamer is used for in the yard. Yeah, a little more. A little bit of that. A little bit of rust down there, a little bit here, some here. Okay, I'm going to go back and, ooh, that's going to fall. Okay, we're going to use a little bit of grimy black. Just tone down just a little bit. Okay, add a little more of this grimy black. Okay. And actually, I want to add a little more brown to that rust. It's a little too rusty looking. We don't want it to look like it's rusted out, but at least it's being used, you know? Okay, do that. And then we'll go back a little bit of black. There we go. Now, the lady Amy that's on here in the chat, she has ancestors that worked in the late 1800s, early 1900s on the original Pikes Peak Railroad in Colorado, and I believe one of her great grandfathers or great great grandfathers was the same gentleman also worked on the Santa Fe in Texas, and then as a brakeman, and then he moved to the Cotton Belt, and then I think her great grandfather was a conductor on the Cotton Belt in Jonesboro. So a lot of family heritage. So what I'm doing right now, I'm just add little details on top here, like this rust around this hatch. And that's all I'm doing. A little bit of browns. That's all I'm doing. I'm going to seal it now. Now that's dry, I'm going to seal it. We'll add a little bit of black to it first. Ooh. Okay, so it's a little lighter than usual, which is good. And I'm going to add a little more of that brown rust on top of here still. If it's a little too much, take a little bit off with the Q-tip. Okay, that's all I'm going to do there. All right, we're going to seal this, and I think we're pretty much done with the steamer. Yeah, that's exactly what I want it to look like. So I'm going to take photos of this, and I'll post it on the Facebook page so everybody can see. How long did I go for? An hour 21 minutes. I was supposed to do 90 minutes, so that's pretty close. I'm getting pretty good at this. So there's our steamer. Okay, just we used the Monroe models, grimy black, medium gray, chalky white. How quickly they'll go through that black? Well, if I'm really busy with clients, the amount of aim as far as powders are concerned, it depends. Um, it may take me a couple of years to go through it. It just depends on how many clients I have. Some of these paint bottles had lasted me 5 years, if not more now. I use a minimal amount, and probably I'm actually a little wasteful, and I still have about almost 7 years worth of material on this workbench as far as paints and some of the powders are concerned. So, um, and so you can see here where that streak goes naturally. I'm gonna try to dull this down a little bit. It's a little bright. It's a little too bright this morning. That will work. There. You can see how the streak goes down, and then it hits the driving wheel down here, right? So it goes all the way down. Smoke box got a little bit of that grays and whites in there. Some highlights on the front. A little bit of stuff on the front there, right? Got a little highlights of the ash and some heat effects on the back of the boiler. We have a little bit of a soot all over the boiler here, a little more effects here. And there's certain spots here where it's very faint. If you look up close to it, you can see that gloss black paint, and it looks like a little bit of lubricant. That's or oil that where they use the oil all the little joints here for the driver hands, right? And there's the front again, and that's that. Okay, that's even done in the back there. Okay, so these wheels are actually fairly clean. I clean a little bit each, right before I put on the bench, I clean them, but they are clean. That's pretty cool. I don't know, I doubt this engine is DCC, but I like to run it on my layout, just to get some videos of it. No, it's not. It's not DCC, unfortunately. It's DC, but that's okay. We'll get some nice photos of it on the layout. Okay, and I'll bring this is finally dry, so we'll put the whole thing together here. If I can take the tape off. All right. So there's your finished product. Now, it's more and less. You can do a lot more, a lot less if you want. You so choose, though. Hey, Marty, man, how you doing, buddy? How is the coast out there? Obviously, you said it's hot and windy. So there's the final product, the final result of the steamer compared to what it originally looked like when he came out of the box. Now, the next step to do is I have a diesel engine and a Southern hopper. And so that'll be sometime next week. I'll be doing that for the client so we can finish. He's going to put this on a rail. I have asked him. I'd like to see the finished product when he finished it. He has a big rail in memorial or a piece of rail that's dedicated to his family. And then he's going to have the steam engine on top of track, which I need to weather for him. 4 pieces of track to weather. And then we got he's got a diesel engine, S2, I think it S1, SW2, something like that, and a coal car that he's going to put on there because his family worked on the steamers as well as the diesels on the Southern Railroad. So I love the Southern Railroad. I actually thought about when I thought about doing N scale, I thought about doing very late Southern, early Norfolk Southern because I like the Southern paint scheme. I always thought it was a beautiful paint scheme in the diesel era. Um, or if I really had the space and the money, it'd be nice to even do the Norfolk and Western and maybe a cross of the Norfolk and Western and Southern Railroad. They have some beautiful steamers, so it's really really nice. Since we have 10 people here, any questions on anything? As far as the process, I know it's a little difficult with the camera angle and stuff. Um, but any questions, I'll be glad to answer them here. And we got a few minutes before we'll finish for the day. And so, since I'm waiting for questions, I have a lot of videos that are coming up in the next couple of months. There's a lot of scenery tutorials, more diorama series, more diorama videos coming up. Um, trying to do a 2023 year in review video. I'm also working on, oh gosh, we got Johnny's layout videos that I need to finish up. The last video that I just posted today is from a little company in Staten Island, New York, where I was born and raised. And it's a little guy. I'm going to bring him here because he's a rail fan now. I made sure he became a rail fan since he came back with me. So I think he wants to say hello to everybody. Ah, there he is. Yeah, this is little Guido. We moved down here. You can see him and I look very, very similar. I'm gonna try to move up. So, oh my gosh, that's close. Holy smokes. Probably scared everybody on the TV. So, you can see here. Thanks, John. I appreciate it. So, besides the Christmas hat and stuff, we got the beard going on, a little bit the grays going. We got a little bit the chest hair going on like this guy. And I do have a guinea tea like this. It's a company CNBBN. It's called Guido on the Ledge. So if you know some Italians in your family, okay, that's right there. It's Guido on the Ledge. And you can purchase this in Staten Island, New York. And he was just featured in a video. He was very, very homesick. And so we had to go out to Train World in Brooklyn, and he bought himself some coal hoppers. And so I bought a Brooklyn coal hopper, and my good buddy Daniel Coombs, he bought 2 Staten Island hoppers for me for the layout. So Guido's very happy now. He's having a good time running the trains, and he's actually really. What do you think about the train, huh? You like it? That's what I figured. So what do you say? No, that's how he's excited. I think have to get nervous. Relax. Oh, I know. It's okay. That's okay. Listen, we're gonna have a good time here, and we're gonna put you on the ledge because it is Guido on the ledge. You gonna stay? Ah, he's gonna stay. There he is. Look at him. He's hanging out right next to the steam engine. So, guys, I appreciate it. Everything. You guys have a great year this year. And thank you for all the support and love. We just hit 2,210 subscribers. So, oh boy, I'm looking forward to the end of the year to see where we get up to. It's not about the amount of subscriptions, but it's about the enjoyment and the fun we're having along with this. But yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. God bless you all, and I'll see you next time.